Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Catalyst for the Trades podcast with myself and Mr. Chuck Staszkiewicz.
You're getting closer, Jen. You're getting closer.
I'll help you.
I've been trying for 6 months.
It's not like we're recording this live or anything, and we can just edit this out later.
No, it's become part of our brand. It's become part of our brand. You guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your business. Whether you guys are here with us live or you're watching the recording, you know these are uncut, so whatever goes, goes. We always like to bring in the experts in the industry. I believe we hit the mark on this one. So we are very excited to have our guest with us. Chuck, I'm going to have you introduce Mr. Michael Disney.
Yeah, this is a special one for me, Jen. I had the opportunity to train alongside Disney and his team for years. It's fantastic. He's become a friend, not just a mentor. And I always get excited listening to him. So I know that the audience will. And without that, like, Mike, introduce yourself. Try not to get all Jersey because we are live. If you get Jersey, I go Jersey, then it's all.
Then I go Jersey and all shit hits the fan.
Well, hell,
So keep it PG, non-Jersey today.
Well, right now, as we sit, New Jersey has a state of emergency for a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going Jersey today. That don't even make sense. Well,
somehow I'm sitting here in beautiful, sunny Seattle, Washington. Go figure.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So, guys, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to your audience, and I'm humbled by the offer, Chuck, to come and join. And so, just a little bit about me for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to meet me. I've been in the industry for a little over a dozen years. Prior to that, I'm an auto mechanic by trade. I came to New Jersey via Baltimore, where I was born and raised. I have an affinity for my hometown. Came up to New Jersey because my wife wanted to move home, where her family's from. Ended up buying a business from my father-in-law, ran those businesses for about 17 years. Had this amazing opportunity from a dear friend of mine named Rob Zadati. And Rob Zadati gave me an opportunity to come and handle a Costco issue he was having with his home service company. I came into Gold Medal Service with just that singular focus of fixing the Costco program, with all intentions of just sticking around for a little bit and moving on. And much like everybody that's probably listening to this, it's easy to fall in love with the trades. It's easy to fall in love with the HVAC, plumbing, and electrical space, and that's exactly what I did. Great people showed me that there's even greater people here, and so that's what gave me some sticking and some roots. My kids, I always say, my kids give me roots to New Jersey, and the trades give me roots to my career. And so I absolutely love the trades. I love the people in the trades. I had a conversation with somebody today who's a dear friend of mine who I hadn't spoken to in a while. And that conversation is really emblematic of the great people that are in the industry and how all of us working together can create magic for just millions of families that do what we do on a day-to-day basis. So I have this company called Winding River Recruiting. And so I started that about 2 years ago after I left CEO Warrior, which was really just a labor of love for me. I really enjoyed coaching and training the over 300 clients that I was at the time that I left there. And I really, really enjoyed my time with them. And my expiration date came up. I had to kind of find my new path and my new identity. And Winding River has allowed me to do that and kind of given me the cushion to kind of navigate my post-employment responsibilities that we all kind of fall into when private equity comes into the world. And for me, I've been through private equity exchanges twice, so I have some knowledge around there. Winding River allows me to stay connected to a lot of people that are looking to exit. I help them find, brokers. I help them find buyers. I help them find critical managers. And so I just love the industry, want to stay part of it. I think I can cause some disruption and some great reasons for those disruptions. And I'm excited about what the future brings. I know a lot of people probably have some anxiety around what AI means and the changing environment that we're all under. But for me, it's really just like, man, every day is a tremendous opportunity. And it's what can we really capitalize on to not only serve my family, but all the people that I'm responsible to as well. And I just love that. I love that cause and effect, if you will.
Yeah,
I love that.
awesome. That's a great intro, Disney. That's a great intro. You
Great.
know, you tapped into it a little bit, and I just want to go a little bit further, Disney, because I know you pay attention. You have a very good way of giving that knowledge back to people. Like, what do you feel the state of the union of the industry, the trades industry, the core trades, plumbing, heating, electrical? Where do you feel that is going right now? What are you seeing? What are you not seeing? What should people be looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really heavy question, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think like that means so many different things. And so first, what I would caution everybody at is that the state of the union, if you will, the state of the trades, we'll just call it that, right? So when we look at the state of the trades, I think there's good, bad, and ugly.
Mm,
And I think you got to be able to position those where they belong. I think that if you're a small guy, Chuck, and we talk about these guys a lot, like the guys that are sub 1 million or even sub 2 million, let's just use those guys. I think they're being fed some really solid information, and I think they're being fed some garbage. I think the problem is they can't differentiate what's real and what isn't, what works and what doesn't. And so I think the first thing we should all think about is, where do we get our information? Where is our source of truth? And who do we really believe in? I think if you don't have a mentor and you're a sub 2 million guy, you own a business and you're a sub 2 million guy and you don't know a $5 million guy in your neighborhood, you better go get to know him. If you think about him as competition, then that's all he'll ever be to you. And if you think about him as a mentor and somebody that can help you really capitalize on the market opportunities, then that's exactly what he'll be for you. So I caution everybody and I'll call it the social media information world that we live in, right? Like, I think there's some great stuff on social media, but I think that there's also some stuff that sounds really great that isn't. And I think you don't know that unless you're really, really experienced.
Yeah, I was literally just going to ask, are you sure that Facebook groups aren't the right coach?
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there. What you do with the information is another thing.
Well, and I mean, I think it's even, social media is the worst place to go ask a group, a community of peers for context and information, because there's not enough context or perception or details or data in the question to even get a decent answer. And then on top of that, right, who are you asking? But I think on top of that, you also have the majority of stages are filled with the same content. Every spring and fall, everyone is getting introduced the same stories that might have worked in 1975, 85, and so forth, right? And I usually start off my speaking events saying, don't listen to me. Take this for gospel, because we need to have a whole series of questions and a deep rooted conversation before you start applying the information that you learn right now. This doesn't apply to all, but I don't think that that's thrown out. I think every quarter, there we go.
Yeah, I think it's the problem, right? I think like, look, if you're going to get your education where you get the drama in the industry, that's probably a problem.
It's a good way of putting it.
And so if you're out there where people are bashing people and talking shit about people, I just think that you probably shouldn't learn how to build an organizational chart from that same place. It's
called entertainment.
Well, that's what it is, right? I mean, like, let's be honest. We all joined Facebook so that we could stay in touch with those high school friends, and now it's become this monster where there's so much information, good, bad, or indifferent. How do we navigate? What are those waters like? I will tell you, though, the good things about the industry, which I think are the best parts about why we're all here and why we stay here. Because I actually, and I'll go into this a little bit, I'm on a journey to not be negative. Look. My promise to myself 20 months ago was, I'm going to be incredibly curious. I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm going to bring positive as much as I can, because, like, look, I was that guy. I was that manager that was, like, negative about things, negative about certain people's participation in my world, negative about clients doing the homework, negative about employees holding, ownership mentality over their tasks. And so I was that guy that was gnarly, negative, and pushed back on everybody. And I realized I didn't get anywhere with it. And so for me, I want to stay focused on positive. Here's the things I think are really great. the people in this industry are the most the founders and the critical owners in this industry are some of the most giving people in the world. And I'm a product of that. I wouldn't be where I am today without those particular individuals, the people that have been mentors to me, educated me on things that are available to me, and allowed me to participate in opportunity. And I think altogether in today's world, and we're going to get into probably a challenge around recruiting, because that's what I'm doing now. I think that people want to know what's in it for them rather than what's in it for the general purpose of the organization. And I think that vision and value is just not what it is today. I think when you always hear this, I find it comical that everybody has visions and values, but none of the owners can list them for me, right? Like if I ask an owner, what are your 4 values? Or what are your core values, or what is your vision or your plan for the future? It's always seems so fragmented. And I think that is a challenge, but I also think it produces great people when they dial into what that means. I think when they have somebody that walks them through a vision path, when they have somebody that talks about, what is your ultimate values that you bring to your people, and how do they talk to your clients in that method? Because we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all serving people. And if you're a fortunate owner like Chuck was, to have an abundance of employees that you could serve on a day-to-day basis, man, are you doing something way greater than yourself, right? And so I think that's really the greatest part of our industry, right? The people that do this work in spite of themselves and for the greater good of their market, for their neighborhoods, and for their people. I think we're the best at it. I think I come from the auto industry. We're nothing like the HVAC plumbing industry. And so I think this is really great. I think it's unbelievably opportunistic for a lot of people. And I think that home service businesses today, they need somebody from every genre. I think that you could leverage a brilliant marketer, right, Jen? You could leverage a great sales trainer. You could leverage really great analytical people. You can leverage really great, like CFOs in the industry that in this industry should be data specialists, right? Like, I've always said to myself that, cash is gone. Clients don't give us cash no more. The cash of the future is our data. What do we do with that data? How do we leverage that data? And so I think that's the great stuff, that we get a lens and an insight into what we can do and how we can serve more people broadly and exponentially. I think that's the positive energy around the industry. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity to introduce our clients to technology they never dreamed of.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the greatest thing that we have to offer. And Chuck will laugh at this because I love telling stories. And I happened to be at Aero Plumbing years and years ago. I was on an on-site, and I love that family and that company. And I was there, and I watched their plumber do he did a role play around the technology of a toilet. Now I'm an auto guy at this point, and I've been coaching for a couple of years, and I hear him say this, and I'm like, load consumption and and I'm like, man, as a consumer, I don't know those terminology. I don't know that terminology. I don't know that I didn't know a toilet has technology. Like, we're talking about it, right? And so when you hear those things and I just get blown away by that there's technology around every corner. And we have the ability to improve our clients' lifestyle if we do great work. And I think the great work is start to finish, right? As soon as they touch your website, you got to be introducing them to things they were unaware of. And then when we talk to them on the phone, and when our dispatcher interacts, and when our guys get the opportunity to walk into their home and change their lives, and when we get to offer them solutions to things they never knew they had problems with, I think that that's a real opportunity. And I get really passionate about it because some guys think it's a hurdle and a burden. And I think that's what we do it for. We do it for the ability to educate people on how to improve their lives.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the stuff I think the industry hasn't lost, won't lose, and will never lose, is the ability to serve people and change their lives in ways they never even thought of.
I have a question. When you think about what's happening with AI and the volume of positions that have been displaced, I mean, close to 1 million developers from your major top 5 technology companies. There's not a lot of industries that are untouched, right? It doesn't matter if it's Wall Street or Main Street or the tech environment. There's obviously a tremendous amount. I'm sitting in the mecca of all these tech guys right here in Seattle, Washington.
Sure.
And there are 1 million people out there that are currently unemployed and have nowhere to go. How do you think that's going to impact the trades industry?
Yeah.
As far as the availability of an entirely new audience of humans that don't have another path right now.
Yeah, I think that's our biggest challenge, right? I think like there's a ton of great people that'll be available to work, but I think technology is going to position different positions. It's like the computer, right? We thought the computer's going to take all these jobs away. We're not going to be able to do anything. Then we get this computer and we're like, oh my God, we need code writers. We need this.
Yeah, we need more jobs.
We need this. So that will manifest, right? There's no doubt about that in my mind. It'll manifest. I think the AI conversation, the only compromise I have with it, is the people that think they're good at it and suck at it. So, like, and I don't know what wrapper they have. Like, I don't know which candy to buy, right? Like, I go look at all these opportunities and I'm like, well, how would I even know they're good?
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, I could go to Avoca, I could go to Zero Talk, I could go to Choice AI, I could go here, I could go there, I could go to anywhere. But how do I know they're good? Where can I get that experience?
Where's the data?
I'm certainly not going to get that experience in a demo, right? Like,
sales meeting.
Yeah. So what do I got to do?
You literally just rattled off we're interviewing every one of those companies, testing, trialing, and collecting that data right now.
And I think that that's the necessary thing. But Jen, you're doing that because you're strategic and you're thinking strategically. The problem with our industry is a lot of our guys think all this information that they're getting out in the world is helping them with their own strategy. When if they could just do a simple SWOT analysis of their business, they wouldn't need any of that other garbage. And they could really, because like, look, how many times, Jen, have you heard people call you for your position and your superpower? I need more calls. And you're like, that'd be great. But do you know you have a 30% conversion rate? Like, I'll get you all the calls you want.
Yeah.
But I'm not fixing that for
you. Every day. Oh, no, that's the question of what's my ROI going to be on my marketing? I'm like, I don't know. How many of your calls are you booking? Are you answering after 5 p.m.? What happens on the weekend? How quickly are you answering the phone? Why do you still have voicemail? We couldn't reach you. I'm trying to set your appointment.
Yeah. And then when you go on their software and you're like, hey, look at that, 240 cancellations yesterday. Huh. What the heck is going on? And I think a lot of the people still have remedial education on the heavy softwares that they use, and they need a deeper education to it, or they need to hire a specialist, right, to be in their business, not somebody who they're hiring temporarily who's not going to be intimate to them. Because I think about the coaching world. I loved my time at CEO Warrior, and I think CEO Warrior delivered magically for a lot of people and still do. For the right people. I think they do great work. The foundation's there, and they're going to serve great people that can live in their world. Me personally, I think there's an intimacy that's needed. I lived in a world of one to many too long. I think the intimacy is what makes growth and scale possible.
You're 100% right. I just was talking to someone yesterday about the difference between traditional sales process and a war room. Like, you need a war room, and the war room can't live on one stool. If we provide more leads and you don't have your pricing right, you're toast. If we provide more leads and you don't have your booking and your conversion, like, it doesn't work. That's why I love working with Chuck, because we start to tackle more and more of the different components that are critical to actually get success.
It's like the medical world. It's too generalized. You're sick. Let's put you into this category. Let's not get to the root of the problem, what your individual needs are. Let's just put you into this group and give you the medicine that we've given it to all these other people. And it's worked for some of these people, right? That's what it is. But going back to AI, like, I really feel that it's a tool. Now, being a plumber, we use tools the wrong way all the time. Right? Like, we use a hammer to do things that we shouldn't do. Yep. And that's all AI is the tool. So are you using the tool the right way? When you need a screwdriver, you're using AI as a screwdriver, or are you using it as a sawzall when you need a screwdriver. Like
Right.
that's
Wow.
realistically what it is.
Kind of. Yeah. I would say I would expand it to, as consumers adopt AI as their personal assistants, it's the reverse, right?
Yeah.
It's the reverse. So, I mean, even right now, I'm noticing, and I'm curious on both your guys' opinions. We're seeing our technicians land in a house, and that consumer thinks they know it all, like they know it all when they went to the doctor because they chat GPT'd everything, and now they have all the answers. They have,
Sure.
I mean, the conversation at the, let alone how the consumer finds you is changing, how the consumer is converting with you is changing, and what's happening when you walk into a home with a consumer who thinks they are highly educated on your products and services and price and what it should be and what it shouldn't be and so forth. So how it, I mean, obviously training has to take place.
I love this one.
It's so huge, right?
Well, I think I have a thought. I have a thought around that.
Okay,
I've thought about that a lot.
please.
And I think because I think conversion is like, we live in a land of conversion. If we don't have it, we got nothing. And so if we're not booking on the phone, if we're not converting in the house, we are useless, dead in the water. We can't serve anybody. We can't help people change.
And leads are expensive.
And
converting quickly. It has to be the same speed as ordering my groceries. It has to be instant. It can't be delayed.
Yeah, the world has changed in that respect for sure. But I do believe that people are using AI like they used their neighbor who was the smart guy in the neighborhood before. So they want to know the information. I don't believe, Jennifer, that they believe they're smarter. I think that the trust factor has gone so far down that they need something to hold on to when you come into their house. And I think, like, look, we all know the old adage, when trust is high, price don't matter. And when trust is low, price is everything that matters, right? And so how do I create trust and value to the client before I ever get to their front porch or in their house? That's the reality. Are you credible in your market? Do you offer value to your market? Are you present in your market? Do you do community events? Like, how do people see you? What do people think of you? I am, I'm a Catholic, right? So I was born and raised in Baltimore, where 99.8% of the community is Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Queen Mary, it's Maryland, for Christ's sake, right? So we're Catholic. And the reality is we have such process. We're so process driven in our faith. And I always say this, so don't take this the wrong way for all the other Catholics out there. I'm an incredibly faithful person, but my religion has failed me many times. But we are incredibly process driven. I, for one, was very excited to see the new Pope and who it is and what that looks like. And that's exciting for me because of one thing. I know he's going to go change process back to what it should have been, because I'm a process guy. I think it's really important, but people need to hear things differently today. If you go into a house and you're not expecting a conversation about price, who are you fooling? Like, stop, go right through the door. Like, if I were in a house today, knocking on the door, first thing I'd say, Jen, hey, I just want to uncover one thing. I'm sure you're worried about price. I've been gifted this opportunity today to help you find affordability in what I have to offer. Is that okay? I know you're going to be worried about price. Just put it out of your mind if you can for a minute. When I get there, we're going to talk magic. How's that? I don't want them thinking about price the whole time. I need them thinking about what I'm talking about. And so if I'm not going to uncover that or get rid of it, it's going to be a problem. And in today's world, these guys they're just riddled with this. Oh, well, everybody wants cheap, 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 cheap. People want to buy. They just want a reason to buy something. I'm a natural consumer. So if you come to me, I'm a top down. I look at the top option first, and then I go down. If I have to go to the Band-Aid fix, it's because of you, not because of me. And I think everybody needs to recognize that. Where people are positioned on your offers and your solutions is where you put them.
Yep. And I would agree. I think that where people are failing in their, it's a couple things. It's the process in the home. They need to take a look at it. What was working 2 years ago is not working today.
No.
And they got to dial in that process a little bit more. And if they're getting too many no's, it's something in that process that they're skipping over, most likely the trust factor, right? Like, that is number one. Now people have went to Google and found somebody, probably didn't have a great experience. They went to Facebook groups, found somebody, probably didn't have a good experience. Now you're there. So building that trust from number one is the most important, right? And I've heard this like 3 times over the last couple of days, and I think it's very important. It's not a people want to understand, and they're willing to pay more for it if it's not a matter of if something's going to happen. It's when something happens, you're going to be there to take care of it.
Sure.
And that's where a lot of people are missing on that process. Is like, no matter what goes on, no matter what we do, whatever option you choose, I'm here the whole entire time. After I leave, my warranty stands, the whole 9 yards. I think that's what a lot of people are really leaning towards more now, is like, okay, I've had 3 other companies out here in the last 5
or
years.
7 or 8.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And now it's, okay, you're here. What's different about you?
Right.
And running them through that process to help them understand why you're better than anyone else, and that trust factor comes high today.
Yeah, Chuck. And I think like, look, we've talked about this in the past collectively and in many different arenas, but in all reality, your trust starts website, brand. It's everything, right? It's the messaging in your social media. It's what your trucks look like, if they're clean, if they're dirty. What uniforms do your guys wear? What do they look like when they walk through Home Depot? What does your guy look like when he orders? And how does he speak to the girl at Dunkin' Donuts when he's ordering a coffee? Is he an asshole or is he a good dude? Because that's your brand, that's your trust factor. So when somebody sees, your company name on the shirt, does your person represent your brand all the time? And what's the reason that they do? Right? Because like, look, I get it. I get everybody's got busy schedules. Everybody's got a lot of pressures in today's world. But man, if you're not focusing on the things that allow people to see you better, hear you better, and understand what makes you, then why would they ever say yes to you? Why would they even invite you into their home?
Yeah. And if you think about whatever market you're in right now, if you think about the biggest company in your market and their pricing, how are they able to do it, and what are they doing different than you're doing to justify that pricing? Right?
Yeah,
like that's how I would start to look at it. And I did for a long time. I'm like, I don't want to be the cheapest. I don't want to be the most expensive. I want to be the most valuable. Well, most trustworthy.
I think pricing is I think pricing structure and pricing strategy is really a lost art in our business today. I think that like when you think about a pricing strategy, it's not just about securing a solid gross margin, right? It's about speaking your truth to your clients, about what kind of service level you provide. It's about what kind of enhancements you do outside of other people. What are the separators from a company that you have versus the 4 guys that were there before? And I don't think it's about I put valve tags up and I use a safety pan. No, I think it's about really, I am never going to put anybody in your home who like you won't fall in love with. Like people want relationships.
You're still down to the people.
Yeah, and so, but remember, words are just words. And so you have to kind of make that happen. And so where are your testimonials that speak to the market about how great you served a few people? One thing I do know, and a lot of marketing strategies lead to this, like what could I use as an example? Radius letters, right? If I do great work for, like Chuck, we did an underground job for somebody, we do great work. We know all the neighbors are nosy. They want to know what the neighbors are doing. So if we have a door hanger policy that talks to them about, and you've had this at your old company where that said, hey, we're in your area. Be mindful of your pets and children. We got some things roped off. We got equipment around. Be really careful. And oh, by the way, we usually find out that people that have the same problems have the same neighbors with the same problems. So if you'd like peace of mind and some insight, we'd love to come offer you that. But remember, you're giving value first of keep everybody safe And then you're making a subtle offer. And then not only with the door hanger, you follow it up with a radius letter. Now they go, oh, wow, it's the same message they gave me the day they were here. So that consistency, Chuck's going to laugh at this, Jen, and you're going to love me because you're from Washington State. I am the biggest Costco lover under the sun. And so the reality for me is the model Costco has gives me ultimate consumer confidence that I couldn't find anywhere else. I will not walk into a Walmart because of Costco. I will not go into a BJ's because of Costco. Because Costco showed me what's possible with the right relationship. They sell everything at break even, and they make a lot of money because I pay them for a membership every year for the right to come into their world and buy things. But the reality is when I walk in, they want to know that I belong, so they want to see my card. But they do it 100% of the time. The girl when I'm in line to buy stuff always wants to know if I'm an executive member. Can I scan your card?
Yes.
and why does that create confidence? Because they do it every time. And then when I leave, they go, hey, let me see your receipt. Make sure you ain't stealing shit from me. My confidence is because they do it every time. And so if your business walks the walk and talks the talk, I love you and I'm going to consume from you. The confidence I get is from consistency. The confidence I get is from a commitment. And when I feel a commitment in a company, I will give them my money forever. Sight unseen.
100%.
So when you think about Costco, why do people go into Costco? Just ask them when you're there. They will give you a dissertation on why, and you'll be like, that's the same reason I'm here.
Cheap gas.
And I want that. I've never bought gas.
I feel like
Costco.
I feel like it's the same relationship I have with Amex.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right?
Yep.
Well, because the level of service is so above the norm that you can't not witness it and want to be part of it.
100%.
Yeah.
So what does your business do to set the standard for your market that everybody can look at and go, why don't I get that? And that's really what I feel like it comes down to.
So many nuggets. Y'all should be writing this down, making a checklist right now. You've got like 10 to-do lists. There should be at least 10 heavy hitter checklist items that need to be on that list. My goodness. Okay, I have a question. So I want to say it was like 10 o'clock this morning. I got a message from 3 clients at the same time that said, I'm so pissed, pulled into the driveway and there's already 2 other trucks in the driveway. What do I do?
Oh, baby. I tighten up a belt loop and I go to work.
One of them literally said, I just walked out. I don't consider this a good lead. And I was like, hang on a minute.
Well, that's because he knows he doesn't offer a better product.
Yeah.
So I am never afraid.
Try to help them.
Listen, my job as a service expert, as a comfort advisor, as somebody that's trying to get somebody to emotionally buy something from a home service perspective that's going to change their world or solidify an issue, I have an obligation to teach them how to make a better informed decision for their family. If that means not going with me, so be it.
Yep.
So my job is to inform them. And look, if there's other guys in the driveway and that person invited us all at the same time, he wants that shit. I'm going to deliver it. Well, and the reality for me is I've been in that position, Jen. I've done that. I'm not leaving. I think
it's just a different conversation.
Yeah, when I look at every single client, if I think they're my avatar, they're going to do business with me eventually. It's just when. Right? If I believe they're my avatar, they're going to connect with something I'm going to market to them. They're going to like something I have to offer. They're going to find out who I am somehow, and they're going to consume from me. I know that. I have unbelievable faith that that's going to take place. I'm that confident. The reality is I'm that confident because I know mine is way better than most people's. And it's only because I'm going to care more. I'm going to deliver more. I'm going to educate more. And if you get education from me, it'll help you make an informed decision with any of the 3 that are there.
Yeah, I'd use it as a great learning opportunity of what they do well and what they don't do well. I'd go in alongside of them. I'd just be like, I'm here to help. And I'd also have the conversation when I could, when the time was fitting, of tell me why you felt it was necessary to have all three of us here. I just want to understand, right?
That's
Help
crazy.
me understand why you had all three of us here. Is it about price? Like, are you looking to get the best price? Like, help me understand so I can build the best package for you, right? You know, but I would not run away. I would go right in there, and just like Disney said, I'd have the confidence. I have, no matter who you are, right? Like, you're as a business owner, and your employees should feel this as well, right? Any one of your employees, Jen, if they were asked who's the best digital marketing company in the world, it's the iWeb Group.
You could put me on a call with 3 other marketing companies, 10 other marketing. I'm dropping bombs. I'm not worried at all.
I'm here to learn. I'm here
worried.
to learn alongside the consumer. Like, teach me your process.
In my early days, when I was as a comfort advisor, when I would go into a house and there would be another company there, I'd be like, man, if I can't sell it, I'll learn.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and so I guess
also try to recruit the guys that were there, because it's probably not the owner.
I think the whole scenario, like that whole scenario, I think that whole scenario is really a mindset, right? I think it's a client mindset. I think it falls back on trust. The reason they would have 3 people there is because they'll pit one against the other, and then they think they're going to get a better race to the bottom, I guess. And then I think
it's also, help me understand how you found 3 people to come to your house today. Like, well, how did you get all 3 of us to come here? Like, did you find us on Google? What made you choose me? Was it Google? Was it a mailer that I sent you? Was it a magnet? Was it an experience from a neighbor? Because I've been in this neighborhood before. Help me understand why you chose these 3 companies.
I will give you some insight into what to say to your clients, Jen, though, because I think this is something I have heard it a million times from clients over the years. And this is the simple thing I say when they give me situational shit to chew on. I say, listen, here's the reality. If you stay in the situational moments, you're not going to grow and scale. So do yourself a favor. Stop living in, start really worrying about the things that happen on a repetitive basis, and stop avoiding these things that happen as aberrations. Yeah. You don't go up against 2 other guys 50, 60% of the day. You do it 4% of the day. So stop the expectations, and worrying about them will never help you. Serve the people that want to be served, and stop trying to fight the people that don't want to be. I saw this really great thing. Do you guys know who David Chung is? The chef?
Yeah.
Okay. So he has a restaurant, and the guy comes into his restaurant, really well-known food critic, and he tells him, he says, hey, I want the Brussels sprouts. This guy happens to be a vegetarian. So he says, hey, can you take the bacon out? First 2 times they accommodate. They remove the bacon. The 3rd time, the owner's there. David's there. And he goes over and sits at the table with the guy. He's like, hey, so like, we make the Brussels sprouts with bacon because we know it's amazing. And I just don't think that you understand the value of us and why we do it. And that's okay. He's like, but there's a vegetarian restaurant 3 doors down, and I think they would be better serving you. And you know what the food critic said? That was the day he became the leader in the food industry. Because he figured out who he had to sell to. So when we chase our tails all the time and we try to sell shit to people that don't deserve us, we get what we deserve.
Yep, bingo.
So go figure out who your avatar is, speak to them on the level that they want to be spoken to, and serve them at the level they want to be served at, and stop worrying about all these bullshit things that don't really matter.
Let's go.
And I'd still use it as a learning opportunity.
Oh, everything's a learning.
I wouldn't pass that up. I wouldn't just leave. I'd go in there and find some things out, because the problem, maybe it's finding that vegetarian.
Well, what I don't
have to have that conversation.
Yeah, but I think what the interesting thing in that story is it was David who delivered the message.
Yeah.
And so what I think, Chuck, what I don't want people out in the world to think is that their people are going to be skilled enough to say stuff like that to clients. And so it's up to us, the leaders, the critical managers, and the people that are responsible to these guys out in the world, to have those conversations and to talk to clients and represent our people when they're in that hornet's nest, if you will. Because Because like, look, if I'm a 2-year plumber and I show up to a house where there's 3 other plumbers, what do you think he wants to do?
Yeah.
Probably in his mind's like, I could kick the shit out of these 2. But that's not going to serve his desired outcome for the day, right? You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that the guys recognize that not everybody can have those conversations, and we embrace it because we love that fight. But I don't necessarily know that's good for everybody, and you got to choose your battles today.
For sure, for sure. Well, I know we only got a few minutes left, Disney.
That's it. I'm just warming up.
I know you're just warming up.
I was just gonna say. So 1, you're one of the most amazing guests we've ever had. 2, would you be willing to come back on if I threw out right now that anyone of our clients or anyone that is watching the podcast has a list of questions, problems, challenges that they have right now? Would you be willing to come back and we do like a powwow where we just roll through that list of issues and you provide solutions like you have today?
I'd love it. Yeah,
I'm saying this on the recorded vision.
Yeah, and look, we do still have a few minutes, and I wanted to get into one of the most important topics that we talked about earlier on is hiring. It's what you do, Disney. Like we got 5 or 6 minutes left. We'll go into some hiring things that you're experiencing right now and what people can do, to level up their company with hiring.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think it's really important today to recognize that everybody does a shitty job recruiting. Just say it. Every single person does a horrible job recruiting, right? Yeah. I won't say that. I think they're trying. I just don't think they have time. I think they don't have time management skills. I think they don't have quality people in their staff to do the work that they're asking them to do. I think it's hard to leverage. Like, look, if you ask me right now.
How many home service companies have an HR department and a recruiter and someone managing compliance? I don't feel like a lot of people.
Process.
Well, now that AI is a real thing, maybe none of them will.
Oh.
so let's talk about HR. Yeah, it's challenging, right? And you even mentioned it earlier about 8,000 jobs being missed. We talked earlier about big companies they removed 8,000 HR jobs and didn't miss a beat and got better. That's crazy to me. And so I think in recruiting, when it comes down to today, I think there's a couple different things that guys can do to kind of understand how to recruit better. Go find we always talk about thoroughbreds on our team, right, Chuck? Yep. We want to let a thoroughbred run. Let's pull back a thoroughbred. We just don't want to kick a mule all day, right? So the reality is who's the thoroughbred on your team and why do they love working for you? Why did they come to work for you? What did you do for them? And how do you replicate that? I think in today's world, if you're nickel and diming employees, shame on you. That's your problem, and you're always going to have a problem with staff. Stop worrying about nickels and start worrying about production. I think nobody does an interview process really, really well. I don't think people have agendas. I don't think they have prepared questions. I think their questions are stupid. I think most of them, I think most people are doing interviews today to kind of satisfy their own little need for power. I don't think anybody's doing any quality interviews for what their desired outcome is in that person. So if I want to hire a comfort advisor, I don't need to sell a comfort advisor on a job. I need to provide him opportunity. I need to hear what he's done with opportunity in the past. How have you worked through opportunity? How do you self-generate? How do you follow up? What are the things that matter most? I'm going to get granular because my company deserves better questions to be asked of the future talent on the team. And then I think there's a belief system that I have that your staff should play a part in the people that come in. So you should have this rotation.
Bingo.
Where a plumber interviews your plumber, where an electrician interviews the electrician, and we have multi-tiered interview process because they're not going to work with you as much as they're going to work with them.
Everyone else, yeah.
And if everybody
get the culture involved,
if everybody has a vested interest, and they made a decision to bring somebody else on, if we had a collective and we brought a plumber on, and Chuck, I was working at your company, and all 8 of the management staff said, "Yeah, bring them on." We all can't go, well, I didn't bring them on. We all roll up our sleeves and make them better, right? And so when there's a vested interest, we just have a better team. And I promise you, if you're an owner that wonders why people won't work for you, go get a fucking life coach, because it's probably easy for me to understand why they don't.
And if you're the only thoroughbred we have another issue.
Well, that's true too. All right. But I do believe, like, look, I don't want to just be poo-pooing some things. I know people are doing a lot of great work and they're still struggling to find people. But I do believe that there's a better way. When you have somebody come to you for an interview process, if your interview process is weak, they've got options. If your questions are weak, they've got options. If your offer's not great, they've got options. If your healthcare sucks, they've got options. Your 401k is not great and you don't represent it well, they've got options. If you don't have a PEO that's managed with a site that they can go see everything on relatively easily, then they've got mystery, and mystery leads to the tendency of leaving earlier. And like, look, I've said this my whole life, Jen, you haven't heard it. Chuck, you've heard it probably ad nauseum. Nobody has a recruiting problem. They have a retention problem. And so if you could go save every employee you ever had from the time you opened your doors till today, you wouldn't have a human capital issue. You'd have a process issue, an organizational issue. You'd have all kinds of other problems, but people wouldn't be one of them.
Yeah. And the breakdown is this. It's also how and who you're looking at for recruiting, how you're recruiting and who you're looking at. A lot of people think, well, I got to get somebody that has all the knowledge that's been doing this for 20 or 30 years. Maybe that's not a fit for you and your company where you're at right now. Yeah. So how and who you are looking at with recruiting is important as well.
And Mike, can you guys do this? Can you guys take care of this right now? Is this something you guys offer? So we've got plenty of watchers that I know need help and they're not going to improve these things on their own. Is this something they can just throw it over the fence, work with you guys, get it done?
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's a couple defining things that I do at Winding River I don't think everybody else does. I onboard your employees because I think your onboarding sucks too. And so the reason that I do that is because I have to give a guarantee and a faith-based guarantee that they're going to stay with you for a certain period of time and be easily equipped to do the job you hired them for 90 days in. I'm a firm believer, Chuck, you know this, Jen, you're going to hear it for the first time. You make it to 91 days in my life, I expect you to be in it forever. And so the reality is, you got to onboard people with purpose and passion, or they're not going to be connected to you forever. And so I want to take people through the onboarding process. I want to be the filter of all your bullshit to your employees so that they get a good feel for what you're trying to do, because most owners are just taxed in terms of their time and they don't have the ability to serve their employees. So I want to run them through onboarding. I want to build the job description with you. I want to make sure that we get a scorecard up and running before the interview, because if we can't talk about expectations like conversion, average, membership sold, labor percent, what are we talking about in the interview process? If we can't talk about skills and competencies that you need to have an effective approach to this job, what are we talking about? So I want to wrap all that into a bow for people. Like, look, recruiting's super expensive. It's not cheap, but the problem is losing people is
way more.
It's the number one hidden cost in your business today.
And hiring the wrong people, probably worse.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll tell you this. I'll give everybody a really big thing to think about in terms of their business, which will help them be better to their current employees. If you have a service expert you're paying $100,000 to today, it will cost you $100,000 to replace them. With downtime, training, acquiring, recruiting fees if that's necessary, HR work that they've got to do. So think about losing somebody. It's going to cost you their salary. You won't try to lose people at that rate. But I don't think that hiring the wrong people is bad. Keeping them on your staff too long is bad.
That's fair.
Diamonds in the rough are everywhere.
Everywhere.
They only get exposed with proper leadership.
Excellent. And
you're giving me goosey bumps, by the way, and you're making me self-reflect and reassess, even in my own space and my own business. I just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm going to say I miss talking to you as much as I used to, and we need to do this more often for sure. You got an event coming up in October.
Yeah,
share with everybody what that's all about, please.
Yeah, so two dear friends of mine that work a coaching organization called Blue Diamond Consultants, Jim Clark, who you know well, Chuck, and Julie Vanna, who you know well. These guys have a coaching organization, and they've invited a couple friends along for the ride. And so a few of us are going down there to talk shop, right? Because, I love talking shop. So we'll be talking the heavy recruiting dose there. We'll be talking about onboarding. We'll be talking about the power scorecard. I'll be talking about a lot of different things. I'm going there with a dear friend of mine, Denise Swafford, who's coming. She's with P1 Service Group, and I know
she's been on the podcast. Yeah,
and she's probably one of my dearest friends in the world. And so we're going to go there with our best friend under the sun, Julie Vanna, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. And so it's going to be in Miami in October on the 15th and 16th. And you can go on my website. I'll have all that detail, or you can hit me up with a DM or anything like that. And if you are a client of Jen's and you work with CI Web Group and you have questions that you don't want to wait on, you guys can give out my email address, and I am a servant first. And so if I get an email, I would gladly offer insight into the questions. And I love to make myself available. I don't believe that I was presented with the opportunities I have today to keep it all bottled up. And so if I could share it with people, I know I'm a little crazy, and some people think I'm nuts, but my crazy is a good crazy.
Yeah, guys, go out there, find Mike Disney on Facebook. If you need a personal introduction, hit me up. Jen, you as well. Anybody that wants to get in touch with Mike, it's definitely worth the click, worth the follow. It's not the information that you need to think about, really. It's good, solid information. It's vetted. It's been put to use time and time again. And there's one thing that I love that you said earlier on in this conversation, and I wanted to point it out to people because there's a lot of this still going on. The one-to-many and the categorization of businesses today. It may not be what your business needs right now. And I think that's a very, very important thing. He said a lot of great things, but that was one huge gold nugget that I took away is if I want to get fit, right? And I go to a class with 300 people, am I going to have more? Am I going to get more benefits than if I went to that personal trainer? Yeah, I just want everybody to think about that a little bit. So
I agree.
Awesome.
Intimacy works with the right person.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Mike, can you throw out your website address and your email address? And I know Krista will pop it on the screen for everybody, so it's part of the recording.
You want me to put it in the chat or just say it?
Or just say it.
So
she's fast.
Okay, great. So it's windingriverrecruiting.com.
Boom, already up.
That was pretty easy. What was the second one?
Your email address.
mdisney@windingriverrecruiting.com.
There you go.
That was easy. I even knew that shit.
Dude, thanks so much. Appreciate you. Anything that we can do to support you, and we will continue to throw out that event in October. I guarantee anybody that goes there. Let's put it this way: anybody that goes to your event in October, if they don't get something for their business out of it, come to me and tell me how horrible it was, and I'll give you your money back.
They'll never get to you.
I'm just saying.
Nobody will leave unhappy.